Hello everyone, and welcome to today's tea leaf reading. The rest of the year, we're going to take a look at what that's looking like for you. We have 2 cups to pick between as usual. Cup 1, you can either choose it for the fairy or for the color green, perhaps both. Cup 2 is the key or the lighted cup. Okay, I'm going to get straight into the readings. I will see you at yours. Hello cup 1, you chose the fairy, the green cup. Let's take a look at what we have the rest of the year. Okay, I'm going to hold it up for you to have a little look if you want to pause the video. Okay, I'm now going to see. Okay, right at the top of the cup here we have the letter A. So someone can have the letter A in their name. Okay, this can also connect to a place and a person with that letter in their name. And it is a capital letter, so I see that it holds importance, okay? And there's also energy here to do with important paperwork and information and documentation, and A will be on this document. It can be plural, more than one thing. It can be the name of a company, right, that has the letter A in it. But A is important, okay? This is telling me that. And also, you know how A is at the beginning of the alphabet? You know, it's the first letter. So there's something about the first and the first time. So the first of the month, but also something occurring in your life for the first time, okay, which is going to be important. And I see that it is positive. It is life-changing in some way, life-altering, okay? I see that things are going to gradually get clearer for you, okay, throughout of what's left of this year. Now, the thing is here as well, cup 1, I'm seeing that before the end of this year, you will be making important decisions, okay? It can connect to this letter A we've been seeing. It doesn't have to at this point in the reading, but there is a decision to make. You kind of have 2 paths here. I see that this can be representing for some of you, like the past, the present, right? The past, the future. There's something that you will be deciding to move on from. I see that many of you will come out of that kind of stalemate, 2 of Swords energy, we can say, because you're going to start saying yes to the things that you want and start taking action steps towards that. When we go a little further down in the cup here, there's a woman and she is bending down, okay? And I'm seeing her get hugs from different people. This can also be children. I'm seeing a woman being hugged, embraced by many children. Some of you here, you may actually be a mother, okay? You may be a teacher, a leader of some kind, okay? And it doesn't have to just be that you, you know, work with children or you teach children. This can also be something you have done previously. It's this sense of, you know, people come to you, they view you as a caretaker, right? And the children are representing the energy of that, as well as, of course, it is literally children here. Now, the thing is, I'm also seeing with the energy of that and this being embraced, you are going to be acknowledged in some way here, okay? And it's a sense of personal fulfillment, but also this can certainly be professional fulfillment, okay? And I am seeing a woman, though, you know, don't get too caught up in the gender. It's really this energy as well of, you know, being rewarded, something coming back to you that you've been given out, because there's more than one child here embracing this woman in the cup, right? And of course, I am, you know, reading for some women, so that will connect, right? So this sense of, you know, the multiple children, it's multiple things you've given out, your energy, your time, your efforts, okay? Where you kind of held that position of being like a teacher, being a leader. And it doesn't have to have been your official title. It's that's an archetypal energy that you had, right? That you still have. Though for some reason, I just kind of see you kind of being a bit distant, wanting to make distance from that. This can be a shifting, right? A shifting in your spiritual development, how you view yourself, how you perceive yourself. And it's not because you want to completely not care for others. It's not that. It's just that there's a shift in your awareness of, you know, the balance between giving and that being taken. Okay, so I'll leave it at that. And we do have a Y here. Y representing yes. It can also be a letter. Yeah, we have two eyes here. I'm seeing that a couple of things about this. You are being closely how can I say, it's as though someone is kind of paying attention to the details in your life, but it's in a nosy way. I see like a vulture here. This can be an energy that you are, you know, breaking away from. But, you know, I see that with this line here, there is like a wall of protection in between you and this vulture energy. For some reason, I have like a mother figure, mother energy. So someone who perhaps feels that they are domineering over you. They don't have to actually be your mother, but it's someone who feels that they kind of have a right to comment and they need to know about your life. So I'm seeing that this protection, this sense of a wall of protection between you and that person is going to get stronger throughout the rest of this year. So you can expect that to do. It's not going to get in your way. Perhaps not the way that it has previously, okay? Yeah, and for some this can be a co-worker, a boss. So there can be a change of employment here. You're actually going to go on to something better. That can be connecting to the important paperwork and documents. And I have to say, being drawn back to that and this sense of change of employment, and for some of you where this is about a co-worker or a boss in particular, someone who thinks that they own people, actually, is the kind of energy I'm getting. You can be signing, like, you know, new papers for a new employment right close to the end of the year. So keep that in mind. You may think, oh, I'm giving up on it. This is not changing until next year. I just have to keep my head down, do what I'm doing. But actually, no, there's like a kind of, it's going to come in very close to the end of the year and you will start something new. Doesn't matter that it's going to be very, very close to the end of the year, okay? Yeah. So I'm hearing that candy cane can be significant. This can also be a timing, okay? But there's something significant around the timing when candy canes start to come out. You know, we see them in the shops. It's the theme, right? Christmas energy. So for some of you, that is a significant time of the year. Doesn't even mean that you celebrate that time of the year. It's just, it's highlighting the timing and candy cane. But certainly, of course you can, right? You can celebrate that. Yeah, the changing of the seasons. When the seasons begin to change, that's when things are going to start to really get moving for you, and this sense of heading towards making a decision, getting out of stalemate, out of stagnancy, and, you know, the signing off on papers that is bringing you beneficial shifts and changes. All right. Yeah, I'm hearing windy. Some of you may live in a very windy place. Perhaps when the seasons change, that's the sign. You know, it gets very windy before that new season comes in. So quite specific there. That's just what I got. And I'm seeing a crab here. So Cancer energy can be significant, though ultimately I'm getting finances from this crab. So those of you that have had to kind of be quite frugal, perhaps pinching the pennies, so to speak, that's going to shift, okay? And right above it, the vulture is there. So it's interesting because it's almost as though this vulture represents like it is a blockage, like it's a blockage that's kind of got in the way here. from you reaching your full potential. So for those of you where it does connect to that co-worker and the sense of a boss who's been an issue, you know, they've tried to block your progress here. So those of you that have thought that, you are right. You're not overthinking it. Without going into too much detail, because it's kind of touching legalities, they have done things specifically to stop you from progressing. So that can also connect to this paperwork and documentation, right? You going for some type of justice here as well when it comes to that. All right. I'm not saying that's going to be all sorted by the end of the year. That could be something that you just get going, right? When it comes to a sense of justice here, advocacy for yourself, that will go into the following year is what I'm getting. But at least that will give you that kind of opening, right? To see that it wasn't all for nothing, and you'll get back what you put in. Again, you know, with the woman and the children being embraced, you're going to get back what you've put out there in the world, okay? Out there in the universe. Even if it seems like, no, that's not going to happen. Things have been stagnant for me, and that never happens. Well, the end of this year for you, the rest of this year for you, pal, too, this is your time to kind of, what's the word? Be proven wrong by the never. It's never going to be, or it's never going to happen. So, you know, allow the miracles to come in, allow things to show up in ways that you didn't expect. Just be open to it, because what can happen? If it doesn't happen, if it does happen, you know what I mean? So why not think it can happen? You know, try to, in that sense, even if you don't, you know, celebrate Christmas or whatever, but the saying we have is like Christmas spirit, right? Have the Christmas spirit. So somehow have that spirit of like, why not? That childlike, the magic, right? Let the magic be in your life. Okay, I'm hearing that someone has their fingers crossed. Maybe you just did that as I said that. But someone has their fingers crossed, you know. Also, you know, this can be like praying as well, representing the energy of prayer, but very much so I see fingers being crossed here. Okay, yeah, we also have a butterfly in your cup. Okay, so butterflies can be significant. We know butterflies represent transformation. Okay, they're also, you know, very spiritual. This is certainly a sign from above. Spirit guide energy, spirit team looking out for you. Yeah, daffodils can be significant. Daisies. And there's something to do with trinkets, like collectibles. Perhaps you collect things, things with flowers on even. But the message about it as well is something about you finding your treasure, okay? So during the rest of this year, you're going to find some kind of treasure. And it is literal. I do see material things. There's something you'll be coming across where it's collectibles, things you like to buy and have. It's actually going to be something quite unique and special, okay? You can already have your eye on something, but I am seeing that, okay? Yeah. And I see down here we have, yeah, someone is like reaching out with arms. So this is similar to an embrace energy, but their arms are kind of up in the air as though they're jumping. It's just like I see the arms and the body, they're jumping up, you know, like jumping for joy. So you can expect to have some joy coming in, you know, in the rest of this year for you, and being able to enjoy things, enjoy celebrations, gatherings as well, okay? And also this sense of celebrating you. Yeah. This image here, this is like the image of the Six of Swords, the person that's guiding the boat. And I'm seeing that, okay, well, firstly, Six of Swords energy can be significant, right? And moving forward and travel. And they've got like a lot of baggage with them. but it's not baggage that's necessarily negative, it's what they need to take with them. So what I get from that, pile one, cup one, is, you know, take with you, keep with you what lessons you have learned, the things, you know, the knowledge you do have. You don't have to get rid of that, right, so to speak, when it comes to making a decision. And I do have Hermit energy, so Virgo energy can be strong as well for cup one, strong Virgo placements, right? Yeah. And when I look at it this way around, this is like a fountain, like water coming out. So certainly, you know, water energy is significant. We have the Cancer, so water signs can be significant here as well. Scorpio and Pisces energy. And yes, this fountain represents, you know, the continuity of things, right? One job may go, there can be another one that replaces it. You know, things will keep turning, they will keep going. And it's also about abundance here, okay? So moving forward, while you may not be able to see everything that is ahead of you, it's more so that feeling, and you know, your intuition is guiding you. This is the direction for me. Going backwards is not going to be for my highest good, right? There's things ahead that I need to focus on. And again, it's not about letting go of everything. We saw, you know, the Six of Swords energy, you know, which does remind me of the Hermit as well. Yeah, I think I said that. But it's keeping that wisdom with you. Not everything needs to go. Okay, that was the cup. Let's take a look at your plate. If there's any messages here. Yeah, this kind of reminds me of like a building, but you know, a building that is ancient. This can be a statue, ancient statue, also, you know, something that is connected spiritually and culturally to certain nationalities, backgrounds, you know, at like a totem pole I'm seeing here. So this tells me a couple of things, okay? Not only are you very much so protected, we've seen that wall of protection in the cup, but there's energy here of you reconnecting with your heritage, your belief, your background in some way. And it's not to say you're not already, but there's something different about this. And there's also energy of exploring. So by the end of this year, for the rest of this year, cup one, you can actually be discovering something new about your heritage, new about your background, or, you know, your culture. There's something here that you're going to find out more about, and it's about spirituality. It's connected to that, okay? And also this is telling me there's travel to certain parts of the world for some of you, where you will be coming across ancient buildings, okay, ancient statues, spiritual, religious, however, they stand out. They're very particular, they're very beautiful, and in some instances they're very big and very tall, okay? And certainly you can already live by something like this, okay? I do have that. 3 is significant as well, something about 3 times. Then we have a flag here. You're reaching the top of something, okay? Can be the top of this building. You're actually going to literally climb a building that you can, right? By law. Not going on to sacred sites without permission. But yes, that's what I have. So let's see, we'll get a couple of tea leaf fortune cards. We have fair man, dealings or relationship with a man with blonde, grey or white hair. Okay, so this can be you, the viewer. This can be someone you know. This is a predictive reading, so they can be coming into your life also. Chain of events that will affect your life. Yeah, this fair man is having some kind of influence on your life. Let's see, in what way? What's this? Funnel, period of frustration, lessons to be learned. Yeah, we saw that in the cup. Stagnancy, being stagnant, perhaps thinking that'll never happen. Also, this can be thinking, oh, I'll never meet someone new, right, in a romantic sense, though it's not that for everyone, of course. But ultimately, I'm seeing this fair man being connected to this chain of events. So as I say, this can represent you, the viewer, right? You're going to have a chain of events that will be changing your life. We've seen this in the cup. And this can also be someone that you know, as I've said. Okay, let's get a card, some cards from the other part of the deck. Yeah, and outside of that, you know, the chain and the funnel, it is what we saw there. It's this sense of you finally reaching that point of, you know, making a decision that is going to kind of break a chain as well, you know, break a chain, break a cycle. That's what I also get when I see this chain, right? Taking the lessons with you that you need, leaving what you don't. Oh, nice. Honor and respect will come to you. Yes, this is what we saw. This is what we saw with the embracing in the cup. Yeah. This is also indication of that employment, right? Career, doing well, having success. Also when it comes to any kind of advocacy, justice, and certainly you know, the important documentation and paperwork that will be life-changing. So some of you can actually be receiving like an award, a certificate, a medal, something that is very official about what you have done, what you have achieved, personally, professionally, etc. Okay, so expect that. Someone can be doing their PhD. They're going to start their PhD. It's going to be very successful. What did I just say? Bridge, successfully overcoming a problem. You are, yeah. And some of you are going to do this abroad, right? We've got the world on there. Very, very intelligent, very smart cookie. Wedge, someone is trying to come between you and a friend or something you want. Absolutely. Thank you for the confirmation. This is what we saw in the cup. So the thing is here as well, pile one. For those of you that there is a man around you, and don't get too caught up in the description, right? Where there's a man, this can also be, you know, the opposite gender. But let's not get too far away from, you know, the meaning here. Just, you know, take what resonates. Don't try to make it fit, but let me get to the point. So the thing is, things are going to be kind of really changing for you positively, right? The rest of this year, your things are coming in. Goodness. The things that are for you, that for your destiny, your life path, all of that, they're starting to come in, right? They're going to be funneling in. You've done the work here. You are doing it. And there's going to be energies that are going to want to get in the way. Yes, we saw that particular energy in the cup, but I'm seeing interference when it comes to your romantic life. So perhaps a bit of guidance. Be low-key about that. Consider that others that may not be where you're at in life or have what you have, or even just your energy, the way you are, you know, the way that you can manifest and make things happen, and people are looking like, well, why and how? But they don't know what you've done, what you've been through fully, right? Even if this is friends, people who've been in your life. So just look out for that, because there's going to be some kind of interference trying to kind of block you from having a nice, happy connection, and where you are involved with someone. Okay, someone is going to try and put their foot in between things and kind of cause a bit of issue. So look out for that for the rest of this year, okay? And just to end off, I'm going to get a couple of charms, just to feel like that today. So let's see. I'm just going to get 3 actually. Okay, nice. So we have this leaf, we have the elephant, and we have the apple. I'm hearing that you are the apple of someone's eye. Okay, you may view someone in that way also. Apples can also be significant. Apple juice, apple pies. Someone can really enjoy baking, and I'm seeing that also you're going to have time to be able to do things like that. You know, the rest of this year you're going to put some time aside to be able to bake, but it's particularly to do with apples, okay? Even apple picking can be significant here. Also the big apple, okay, reference to New York City. Yeah. And you know, also biting an apple, like biting into an opportunity. This apple represents an opportunity. Okay. And so the elephant here, elephant represents protection. Okay. I'm seeing that for some of you, this can connect to a deity as well. Some of you, you may have elephant statue, you may have an elephant picture in your home. You're going to have one, okay? But also this elephant tells me there's good luck here. And you may also have a memory like an elephant. And we have that very intelligent, smart cookie energy. So I see the elephant confirms that. And the leaf, okay? So the leaf is also about opportunity. And for some reason, I do see this being an olive branch. You know, it's the sense of somebody wants to kind of reconcile, doesn't have to be romantic right off the bat, but there's a sense of reaching out here and offering. I know it's not an olive, but it reminds me of that. This leaf, it's a leaf of peace, a leaf of well-being. Fig leaves, figs can be significant also. Someone may like to eat figs. And also it's a reference to particular parts of the world where that's their natural, where they grow naturally. You may have a connection to that location. And you know, the leaf is green. So this tells me that somehow here, okay, where you may think that there was a lost opportunity, based on timing. Oh, well, that's not the time of the year that we would hear back, or that's not the time of year that this kind of thing would happen. Well, somehow you're going to see something that shouldn't be there. How can I say? So for example, it can be seeing a green leaf, right, when all the leaves should be brown and red. It can be seeing a particular animal that shouldn't be out yet, or it's this type of thing, okay? All right, that's what I have for you, cup one. I hope you enjoyed that today, and I'll see you very soon for another one. I'm going to move on to cup two. Hello, cup two. Welcome to your reading. You chose the key, the lilac cup, the rest of the year. So let's see. I will hold it up for you to have a look first, and you can pause the video if you'd like. I am gonna now see in your cup the rest of this year. Well, cup two, I'm seeing that the rest of your year is going to be quite busy. I'm hearing jam-packed. There are lots of things that you're going to be getting completed, okay? And I see that it's not just about big things. It's lots of like mini tasks, but they're going to make a difference in your life, okay? And I also see that for many of you, this connects to travel. There's lots of little travel, little trips I'm seeing you go on, okay? And I'm seeing that you're going to have the means to be able to do that. So I don't see so much as a focus on necessarily stability here. I'm seeing that that's already in place to a degree, because it's as though between now and the rest of this year, you're actually now going to be able to enjoy what you've been working, you know, what you've been working on. Your work is paying you. So for some of you here, there's a pay increase that's coming in, and it's going to come in on time so that you can have these little trips, these little getaways, and also these events. So it's very much so a sociable time for you the rest of this year, okay? Yeah. I also see that there's going to be some important celebrations, okay? I'm seeing you being celebrated, though I do see for many of you, this is to do with romance, okay? There is a love heart here, and there's like one on top. So there's two hearts coming together. And I see that these two hearts are going to be recognized in an official way. So some of you here, this is indicating that throughout the rest of this year, you can be becoming official, okay, with your person. You are going to meet a person that you will become official with. And where it is newer, I'm not saying that it's going to go from, you know, meeting one another straight to marriage or something like that by the end of this year. It's more so where it's completely new, that will be the energy of this connection. That will be what is, that's the intention, okay? The intention of the person who I see will be new, but for some of you, you're already with them. You're with your person, and I'm seeing there is an upgrade here when it comes to the status of your connection, okay? And I see nice celebrations around that. Okay, we have the seahorse. The seahorse is a couple of things. This represents fertility, okay? This represents things being plentiful. So I'm seeing that again, you know, here there's going to be lots of little opportunities for you to be able to enjoy your life. And this is also individually speaking, okay? It's not just this will only be with a person and this romantic energy that I'm seeing here around you and coming in. It's also, you'll have time to do things for yourself, okay? And I also see that the rest of this year is going to be a fertile time when it comes to, you know, planting seeds. I'm hearing to pay attention to the moon cycles in particular. There's something powerful about the moon cycles. I've got a little spider joining us. Spiders can be significant. Let's go on the table. Okay. So I'm seeing down here that we have a tree, okay? Actually, we have two. There's a small one, then a bigger one, okay? So trees are significant in some way. Now, the thing is, when I see trees, the trees to me represent longevity. They also represent family ties. I always call them the family tree. And we can see, you know, with one smaller one, one bigger one, there's this sense of, you know, being taken care of. So I'm seeing this in a few ways. Yes, there's also family, you know, who will be taking care of you, vice versa. Okay, there's a lovely family energy here. This can also be about creating your own family, where we have this fertile energy, right, and fertility connected to new life. But also this is, you know, representative of your spirit team. And oh, it just landed on me. Come here. Oh my goodness. You want to go on here? Yeah, I'm going to show you to everyone. Do you see on my... It jumped on me. Now it's there. So, okay. You want to be in the reading. All right. So, let's get back to the reading. The spirit team, yes, your spirit team, the universe, you know, who you believe in, is looking out for you and protecting you. Now, I also see, when I look back at this image that represents the smaller tree, it also is like a person here giving an offering. So some of you may have given an offering to a tree, you're going to, and in general, it's like an offering to nature, okay? And I see like love hearts there. So this tells me that where you have made an offering, you will. And it can also be through prayer here. It doesn't have to just be literally, you know, taking things out to nature. I'm seeing that it's going to be appreciated, okay? It's going to bring you some blessing. Now, I'm also getting energy that this tree, the bigger tree, is connected to a home. There is going to be a new home here by the end of this year for you, Cup 2. I've had interference with my throat throughout the whole reading. Okay. Possibly some cleansing is necessary, which, you know, we need it, right? Constantly. You know, keep it going and keep yourself covered with cleansing as often as you can. Yeah. Yes, so touching back on this new home, I see a home here and relocation. This home is going to have a long drive up to it. So either this is a long road, it's actually going to just be a long drive on the grounds of where you'll be living. But I see that there is like a pathway and huge gates here. Gates. So I'm seeing you have a gate on your new home, okay? Particularly big at the front, okay? So expect to have that come into your life. Is gated home, okay? This can also be like a gated community, but there's something about it being gated. Now, outside of that, this is also about a new path opening for you because the gates are open. So there's an opportunity here for you to kind of go through some gate portal, whichever way you want to see it, view it, you know, how it resonates with you. And I'm seeing that this is going to be happening at a particular time. I'm being drawn to the month of November. This could be someone's birthday, your birthday. You feel that's a powerful time for you to kind of, you know, manifest. But it's a portal energy, right? With the gate being there. So keep that in mind. I see here that we have the letter C. Okay, so the letter C can be significant in some way. We have a hat here, also a triangle. Well, actually, there's a couple of things about this. I see it being a hat, a triangle, yes, but also a mountain. But it's small. So a couple of things. Mountains can represent obstacles. And it's a small one. So I'm seeing that also you're not really going to have a lot of things interfering, getting in your way. And my voice is now kind of calmed down and cleared a bit now. So there is like a clearing. And there's a diminishing of obstacles, things that may have been getting in the way previously. And I'm hearing something to do with honesty. So you can expect someone to be honest with you by the end of this year, throughout the rest of this year. And outside of that, yes, the triangle. So the triangle is, you know, it's a symbol. It can represent a symbol here. Certainly the all-knowing, like the all-seeing, okay? And the hat, so the significance connecting to hats here. It can certainly be a witch's hat, doesn't have to be, but I'm seeing this hat is like a kind of protection. So it can be that you wear hats, you can veil, you may wear, you know, a covering. And I'm seeing that it's important. It's important because it's keeping you safe, it's keeping you protected. Okay, spiritually speaking. Yeah, you know what I hear? I hear don't throw away the hat. That's interesting. Don't throw away the hat. Maybe you've been thinking about something, thinking, do I need it anymore? So this may help you make a decision on that. It may not just be a hat, it could be something else, but it's to do with protection. Right. Okay, and then here we have, well, a couple of things from this image. I see it being like a tall vase with flowers. It also looks like an initial I. And also like a light, like a candle light with the flame. So I'm seeing that there is some good news here with that. Okay, and for many of you, this good news, somehow it involves like flowers and candles. So yes, this is very much so indicating kind of birthday energy, but it doesn't have to be. It's to do with celebrations and good news. Something is reigniting with the candle and the flame. Something is reigniting, and it's strong, and it's kind of stood on its own. This can also be representing your energy, like you've had to stand alone and be strong, like you've had to be your own light. Yeah, I'm also hearing demolition. So some of you, when it comes to a new home, you can be renovating and kind of possibly starting from scratch, living in one place while another place gets built for you. Okay, so I do have that coming through there. Let's see your plate. Okay, so we have the letter T. It actually looks like another T. I, like T-I-T. I'm hearing like the words tata, ta. Some of us, we say ta when we're talking to a little baby. We'll say ta for thank you. Tata can be a nickname for something. Tata. Also tita, I know is short for like aunt. In some language, you know. Tata, tita, ta. Okay. Let's see what else here. I'm seeing here what looks like a yogi, like a, I hope I'm saying that correctly, but it's a spiritual person in meditation, sat on a rock, and they're holding a stick. And they're kind of facing away. So when I look at this, it's almost as though there is, it's like telling you to go, it's telling you to go in a certain direction. And for some reason, I'm seeing frogs be associated with this. This can be a being, certainly a spiritual being. This can be, you know, a spiritual figure, a deity, but it's specific, sitting on a rock, and they're holding a stick of, not a wand, no, a cane, that's it, a cane. So this can connect to you in some way. That's what I can get from that. So 4 can be significant here, you know, and actually when I look at that, we've got like the 4 walls, and then there's like a chimney. This is giving me a home here. And there's this kind of gate again. Some of you here, this could be your second home you're getting by the end of this year. It's not your first. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Let's get you some tea leaf fortune cards. We have the bell, announcement. We have fire, strong emotion, passionate love or hate. And then we have the 10 card, celebration, fun, enjoyment. Yes. Let's get some cards from the other. Tree, wow. Affairs with your family. That's what we had in the cup. Yes. Thank you for the confirmation. Whale, great worry over nothing. Yeah. Rabbit, too much concern with sexual matters. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, we had the seahorse and fertility in the cup, right? So perhaps there's some anxiety, anxiousness, some worry about, you know, bringing new life into the world. Will it happen? Is things going to be okay? So, you know, with that energy, and yes, like in having a family, right? Family affairs. With that energy, I'm seeing that there is a sense of, you know, finding a way to be able to focus on it, but not focus on it. I know that sounds, well, how is that possible? But it's kind of that cliche energy of, you know, let it go and allow for things to happen that are going to happen, right? And focus on what's going right, focus on the good. So this strong emotion, passionate love or hate, can certainly kind of be, you know, underneath this great worry over nothing, right? When it comes to perhaps having a baby, having a family of your own, things like that. And also seeing progression, right? So aside from that, it's also about seeing progression in your life. Like, when is it my turn? When is it my time? This kind of energy is what I'm getting, right? But it's coming in. We've got the bell, announcement, celebration, fun, enjoyment. So, you know, a bit of guidance, perhaps that energy of, you know, the let it go, to let it come in, is focus on that, the celebration, the fun, enjoyment, and the things you're passionate about. So I have to say, there is also indication that some of you can be, you know, welcoming in a new life into the family by the end of this year, during the rest of this year, but also, you know, falling pregnant as well. And this can be you, can be someone close to you as well. Very specifically, there's an energy here where two people can get pregnant at the same time. Two friends, two family members. Okay. I actually, you know what? I'm going to get 3 charms, and then I want to get another tea leaf fortune card. 1, 2, 3. So we have the cactus, the turtle, and the crescent moon. Yeah. So the cactus here, this represents a few things. Cactus, in some beliefs, it represents protection. Okay. So we have nice protective energy here. You may actually own a cactus. You can live in a place where cactuses, you know, that's their natural habitat. And I also see as well, this cactus represents this sense of, you may not see an opportunity, like, especially when it comes to this, you know, concern perhaps over having a family, things like that, right? And let me just add, this can also be about certain finances, even though I have that's not really the main focus, as I said at the beginning of the reading. But it can just be kind of rearing its head, right? Like, kind of that sense of, is it enough? Because is it ever enough, right? So let me get back to the cactus energy. So here, it's this sense of, you know, a cactus can last for so long, right? That's their natural habitat, to be able to, their natural ability rather, to keep water, right? They don't need a lot of water, and they can last for a long, 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 long time. So you kind of got to think of, it's not necessarily about having lots of something or lots of opportunity. It's just that opportunity that hits, that, like, there's something about longevity here, right? and you not being able to necessarily see, oh, that can happen. Just like how we don't see how the cactus, how are you surviving with next to no, you don't need a lot of water. That's the best way I can put it. Right, then we have the turtle. So turtles can be significant, okay? You may live where turtles are in their natural habitat. You're going to travel to a place, and also they can be traveled towards areas, drier areas of the world as well, might I add, with the cactus there. Also, the turtle here is representing good luck. For some reason, I hear going upstream. There's something about going upstream. Perhaps this is to do with a migration period for turtles. So, but somehow it's significant. Syncing, there can be like synchronicity here when this starts to occur, and things will be manifesting for you. And we have the moon energy. Yeah, the moon here is telling me that there is some healing taking place, okay, on a deep level as well. So you can expect some healing to take place for you between now and the end of this year. Some of you may own a turtle statue. You may have a painting. And also there's indication of folklore to do with turtles, folklore stories. So this can come from your background, or even if it's not your background, it's, I know we have the tortoise and the hare, but I'm not really referring to that one in this instance. It's something to do with folklore and spirituality here. Okay, but it's a good luck symbol. And turtles, they can go slow, but we know they can go fast, right? And yes, the tortoise and the hare is really that kind of story, but this is something to do with another type of folklore, right? And you know, the turtle has its shell, that's its house on its back. So I also see that as the confirmation of moving. You know, they can move in the migration energy. So migrating, immigrating. Right, there we go. Oh, actually, no, it's not where we go. I wanted to get one more card. Let's just see. The eagle. Okay, look at this. Triumph over troubles and obstacles. Yes, this is what I'm saying. It's not as big as what you think, whatever problem or problems, okay? So don't give up. Right, that was your reading cup 2. I hope you enjoyed that today, and I'll see you very soon for another one. Bye for now.